Good morning, my loves. I have another book read for you today. I think we've done this book in the past. It's called Welcome Home. It's a guide for building a home in your soul, and the author is Najwa Zebian. If you're not familiar with this author, please, please, please do yourself a favor and check her out. She's got multiple books. She's got a new podcast on YouTube. So she's got all the social media platforms here on Facebook, over on Instagram. Please check her out. She's absolutely fantastic. We have done this book before, but there's a part I wanted to talk to you about today that talks about a word that some of us really struggle with, and that word is boundaries. Sometimes our boundaries upset people, and sometimes people feel that boundaries aren't necessary. But I've recently learned that the people that we need boundaries for in our lives are the people that it tends to bother the most. So that's the reason we have them. I want to read to you today a little bit. We are on page 141, and she talks about building boundaries. And keep in mind, boundaries aren't so much there to control other people's behaviors. It's a matter of almost like a fence, what we allow into our lives. So she talks about, before you establish your boundaries, figure out what your values are. Like, what do you hold dear? Because those boundaries are going to reflect what your values are and how you see yourself. Usually these boundaries will be in the form of I statements. And she has some examples here. I just wanted to briefly read them through with you and see if they trigger anything in you, because I know they did. They did in me. So the first example she gives here is, I will end the conversation with someone who consistently interrupts me. That's a boundary. If you're talking to someone who just constantly interrupts you, end the conversation nicely, but end the conversation. Number 2, I will say no when I'm uncomfortable. You're allowed to say no when you're uncomfortable. Number 3, I will leave the room when X yells at me. Never allow anyone to yell at you. You're an adult. You don't need to allow that into your life. Number 4, I will limit the time and energy I spend on those who try to shame me through religion. This happens a lot. And I know that that's a difficult one. It's especially difficult if you were raised with a religion, but when someone uses that to shame you and control you and manipulate you, that's religious abuse. The next one, I will not tolerate anyone's behavior or words just because I'm afraid of hurting their feelings if I ask them to stop. Don't be afraid to hurt someone's feelings if you ask them to stop. If it's crossing your boundaries, it's crossing your boundaries. Last one, I will not do or say anything that diminishes my self-respect just to make someone else feel better about themselves. That's a big one. I'm going to read that one again because that one's huge and it covers a lot. I will not do or say anything that diminishes my self-respect just to make someone else feel better about themselves. She goes on to say that once you establish these boundaries, it's important to reinforce them and really stick to your word. That if there's someone in your life who is aware of these boundaries and repeatedly crosses these boundaries, you may need to reassess the value of having this person in your life. So, just a reminder, welcome home. Hope you all have a great day. Take care. I'll leave the link to the book in the comments below.